All right.
We're ready.
All right. As far as injuries go, the only person that won't practice today is Dana. He has the hamstring, and we'll just take it day by day, see how he does. He is making progress, so we'll just see how it works out for him. Listen, we look forward to playing the Raiders. I mean, we know they're a good football team. They went in and got after New Orleans, played the last two games right down to the end. So we know they're a good team, and they're very well coached, and they've got good players. So we got to make sure we have a good week of preparation as we go forward. Anyway, with that time, Jerry.
Go first to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy, this might sound a little bit off the wall. We all know what you think of Eric Bieniemy, right? And that you think he's deserving of a head coaching job. It seems to me, and I think some others, that you've name dropped him a little bit more in situations like this. I'm just wondering if that's intentional to try and make sure everybody knows who he is and what he does, or if that's just something that comes natural.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I do it with the coaches, and if they do a good job, I'm gonna tell you, I'm lucky to have the guys I've got. So, but listen, I'm pulling for him, but I'm not just throwing his name out there. That's not how I roll. But if he does, if he's deserving like the other guys, I'm gonna mention it. Appreciate you asking.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hi, Andy. Jordan Ta'amu tested positive, obviously, last week, and you heard about Stephon Gilmore now. There are pictures out there of him hugging and talking with Pat after the game. My question for you is, what's your level of concern right now that Pat or any of your players has the virus, your coaches, yourself? What's your level of concern with that right now?
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, we take it day by day, and we try to do the best we possibly can at keeping ourselves as clean as we can, and at the same time learning every day. So, we're all wearing masks. We've been doing that, or shields and whatever. I mean, whatever all the terms are, but we've tried to keep our nose and our mouth covered the best way we possibly can, and then try to be as safe as we can off the field. But listen, I think just like you guys, every day is a new experience that you got to kind of work through, and that's what we're doing.
Let's go next to Dave Scretta. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, Andy, sort of piggybacking on that a little bit. Are you guys changing any kind of protocols? Are you isolating quarterbacks, and are they all being in the same room? Are you finding yourself adapting at all as the season goes on?
Yeah, well, what we do is we look at the numbers in the room, the space, and then we've got some guys doing virtual, some guys are doing, with the coach in room if there's space. So we've got it kind of mixed up here and there just to hide somebody out. I haven't done that. No. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at. If we have space, we try to utilize everything here, so we've eliminated the cafeteria to where that's a room for the players, and for the offensive line, we've utilized the indoor facility where we do our team meetings and so on. So we've got after meetings, it looks like an Indy crew coming through, just cleaning up, changing the tires, man, putting the tables away and the chairs away and everything else. So that's what we're doing.
Go next to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, you had mentioned after Monday night's game that Chris Jones was a little tender, didn't play Monday night, but how optimistic are you that you should be able to ramp him up a little bit more this week leading to Sunday?
Yeah, I think he's feeling a little better, and we'll see how he does. I mean, we'll just take it. That's one of those day-by-day things. You got a groin. It's raining, so we'll just see how he feels. And if he can go, he'll go. If he can, he can't. But we'll see how it works out.
Go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, I had a quick question to Sam's point on the enemy. I know he was involved in the Fisher play recently. How much have you seen Eric grow as far as game planning and play design go since he became OC in 18?
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't. So, I mean, he's in there doing it with grabs the coaches and they come up with these ideas and we roll, so, and then they let me in on it. So I know what's going on, but I think Eric, one thing Eric is a phenomenal leader and of men, and he makes everybody around him better. And so, and his knowledge of the game is second to none. That's why I can answer questions and still look in the mirror and feel good about doing it. I mean, I know how good he is and what a good football coach he is and a great person. So,
Go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, I know you guys do the contact tracing. Rick Burkhalter explained all that, and so you have all your information that you have on your team. But I'm curious, on game day, is there like a share, right? Like I know the Gilmore, there's video, you can see who was close there, but like for during the course of the game, like maybe Juan Thornhill never came in contact with James White or something. If there's somehow way, is there a report that generates so that across teams you can see who was in contact with who during a game?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everybody has these tracers on, coaches included. So we've all got them, and they can tell when you're around somebody and how much how much time you're with them, and and obviously the distance. The tracers are based off the distance. So it's a 6-foot area and that you keep, and but yeah, that's they've got all the stats on it.
Got time for a couple more. We'll go Karen and then Sam. Go ahead, Karen.
Hi, Coach. For years we've talked about the Raiders rivalry, but is there anything different when the quarantine, the pandemic, and now they're the Vegas Raiders? I mean, is there something that's just different about it now?
No, listen, I don't think so. I think it's the Raiders against the Chiefs, and it wouldn't matter where we were housed at, but it'd still be the Raiders and the Chiefs, and that's how I look at it. So I mean, we look forward to it. I know they look forward to it. It's kind of fun. I mean, that part of it, the competition part of it, is one of those things. Now, I think they're playing really good football right now, and very strong. And they're going to bring it to you for 4 quarters, and that's how they roll. And you got to prepare yourself and have a good week of practice.
Let's go last Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy, I just wanted to make sure I heard two things accurately. On that contract tracing with the opposing team, that didn't result in any of your guys having to isolate or anything? And then I'll wait to ask the second.
No.
The virtual thing that you mentioned, is that something that's new, recent, or is that something you started off the year with having some of the guys do virtual, some of the guys in the actual room?
Yeah, so we did it. We did it in camp too, with a few guys, and then we've done it all season. Yeah.
Coach, we appreciate the time today. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
All right, guys. Patrick, coming your way next. All right, guys. I believe we got Patrick stepping up now. There he is.
Howdy.
You ready for us?
Ready to go.
All right. We'll start with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Patrick. The Patriots were able to sustain a bit of pressure on you without having to blitz much at all. How do you guys as a unit sort of correct that going into what will be another tough front seven against Vegas?
Yeah, I think, first off, I thought the offensive line did a good job. There was a couple times I was drifting a little bit, and so I'll do better at working within the pocket, especially when they're only rushing 3 to 4 pass rushers after trusting them. And then just getting the ball in my hand and finding the right reads. There was a couple times in the game after watching film. I think I said after the game, but even after watching film where there were some guys open, and I wasn't able to find them. And that's a great defense, and we're going up against another one this week, so we have to accept the challenge every single play.
Go next to Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Patrick. I wonder if you could 2 questions. I'll just ask the first one first, Brad, if you can hold on for me. What went through your mind when you heard about Stephen Gilmore testing positive, and how have you been just trying to process that?
I think you just have to trust in the process and the protocols that are set in place. I mean, obviously, knowing that I went up to him after the game and just gave him the high five like I've done my whole career, and not thinking about it. It was, I mean, a little bit of a mental lapse, just trying to show sportsmanship and stuff like that. But I mean, I feel like the protocols in place are good, and I just have to trust in that. Wear my mask, do whatever Rick and them say, and then just trust in. We don't all know what's happening in this world this time, but just accept the challenge every single day of being in the best place I can be to be available for the team.
And then the other part, Patrick, this is kind of personal, but I think it's pertinent. I mean, with you guys announcing that Brittany's pregnant, and then with Jordan last week and this, what kind of discussions do you have about that, or how do you process that aspect of all this?
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it's something that I think about every day. I mean, you have to think about that with her being pregnant and kind of that high risk category. And so I just try to do my best, especially after finding out Jordan was positive. Obviously, we stayed 6 feet apart, and our meeting rooms are set up to where we're far enough apart, or he's in the virtual meetings or whatever that situation is. But when I went home over the weekend, I slept in a different bedroom and stayed away from her as much as possible. And so I've kind of gotten these negative tests back. And so I just try to do my part to kind of keep myself away from her and social distance whenever stuff like this arises. But the only thing good about being here every single day is I get tested every single day. So it's good at keeping track of where I'm at.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick, you touched on this a minute ago, but I wanted to go back to it. You know, you were around Jordan Ta'amu, I'm sure, in the days before he tested positive, and then obviously there was the Gilmore thing. So what's your level of concern right now that you have or will soon get the virus, not just yourself, but the other quarterbacks, the rest of your teammates, your coaches, everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, it's a different time. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, and you knew that coming into this season. If you thought you were going to go through the entire season and no one was going to test positive, and you had a little bit of false hope. And so you just trust that the protocols in place are the right protocols. Kind of like I said, I mean, obviously with Brittany being pregnant, I try to do whatever I can to social distance and stay away, because it's even being available to the team, but even more part for me to just kind of stay and keep my family safe. And so I just do my best part of staying socially distanced, and obviously had a little lapse at the end of the game, just trying to show respect to a great football player who I hope is getting better very quickly. And I'll try to keep away from that and try not to do it again.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Patrick. Certainly understand that you're so used to doing something like that with Stephon Gilmore after the game. I'm just wondering, does the NFL contact you after they see a video like that? Do you hear from the NFL or the Players Association that they kind of remind you not to do that?
The NFL talked to our team. I think talked to Rick, and they are in constant communication with Rick, the NFL and the NFLPA, and they do a great job of that. And Rick reminded guys after the game, and he also reminded guys today in our meetings of kind of the protocols and the different stuff that we have to do in the building and during the games. And so I think as long as we listen to those protocols, we can keep from hopefully having any outbreaks or anything like that, and keep it to an isolated incident, and hopefully be able to go out there and play the sport that we love every single day.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick. So you're a quarter of the way through the season now, and the talk all off season was, run it back. We're not satisfied with the Super Bowl. But now you're 4 games into the season. You're undefeated, playing well on both sides of the ball. How proud are you of just the entire team in this group for taking that challenge seriously this year?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a special group of men to come out here and not be satisfied with coming off a Super Bowl championship and not relax. And I think that's what you're seeing with these guys is we're 4-0, but we're taking every week as serious as the next one, and taking every single day and really accepting the challenge and the opportunities that we have. Because in this league, every single team, every single week can beat you, and so you have to make sure you take them as serious as a Super Bowl game every week that you're here.
Got 3 more hands up. We'll go right down the line. Darren, Sarin, and then Matt. Go ahead, Darren.
Hey, Patrick. A quick question. Obviously, with this whole COVID thing, I know you are the player rep for the Kansas City Chiefs. If it comes to a situation where players need to be isolated in a bubble hotel, so to speak, have you all had that conversation? And if so, what's the thought process? If it comes to something like that, would you all be willing to actually isolate yourself over the next few months in a hotel, so to speak, the team and organization, to make sure that the season is able to be completed?
I think there's been a couple talks talking about situations like that between the players union and NFL and stuff like that. But I think if if you look at kind of the transcript baseball did, and they had some outbreaks earlier in their season, and then guys kind of really got with the protocols, and they were able to get to the season without a lot of positive tests near the end of it. I think that it's a good transcript and a good blueprint for us. And so I think if we can just kind of get through, I mean, there's kind of just been one real outbreak and a couple positive tests here and there. But if we can get to the protocols and really enforce them within each other, within the players and within the coaches, I think we can get to where we don't have to be in that bubble situation. But if it happened, I mean, I know for me, I love the game. And I know how special this team is, so I would be willing to do it. But I know it's different for every individual.
Let's go to our last two. We'll go Seren and then Matt. Go ahead, Seren.
Patrick, I'm curious, I know you guys, Andy's probably got a schedule for any kind of, you got a Saturday game, got a Friday game, got a Thursday game. He's ready to put it all together, but it's something that he plans for all year, right? You guys got this extra day thrown in there. Curious, what do you do with it? Do you pack in a little bit of Raiders prep since you lost a day there, or does everybody just relax? How does that change your preparation?
Yeah, I think with the players, you can't really prep for the next game. I mean, obviously, we lost a day of the week. You have to make that up yesterday when you're kind of usually on your kind of off day where you're just kind of getting a little bit in. You have to make sure you double up and get that day back. But for me, I watched college football. I prepared for the Patriots another day and got as much as I could in. And I tried to do my best to relax my body, and so I was able to go out there and play my best football.
We'll last to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick, you were pretty tough on yourself the other night after the game, and it didn't sound like you were the guy that won a game by 16 points, maybe even lost the game. What is it just about your competitive nature and your self-criticism that when you have a stat line that, hey, would be a career day for some guys, that you're considering it a down game for you?
I think it's just setting the expectation at a very high level. And I think with the guys that we have on this offense and the guys that we have in this locker room, that we expect to go out there and score every time we hit the field. And when we have a game like last week where we're playing a very good defense, but we just weren't executing at a high level, then you're not going to put points on the board. But the good thing about this team is it kind of gets slept on, but the defense is a pretty good defense too. And so they kind of held their own like they've been doing all season and since the end of last season. And when you have good complementary football like that, you win football games.
Thanks, Patrick. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we got Ty coming your way next. I think we got Ty walking in here in a second. Hey, Ty, you ready for us?
Yes, sir. I am ready.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we'll get started with Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Ty, I hope you're doing well. Just want to get your reaction to just a player for the Raiders testing positive, and just how much have you thought about what your world could look like if you test positive, or if someone like Patrick, one of your teammates, test positive?
It's definitely crazy right now. My job is just to, basically just come in and just control the things I can control, and that's my safety, and that's my teammates' safety, and that's the coach's safety, and that's even my kids' safety, so, and I'm gonna continue to do everything I can, whether it's wearing my mask in meetings, even practicing on throughout the week, so I'm just gonna continue doing, the things that the NFL and the Chiefs have told us to do, but so.
Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Tyreek, I noticed the New England Patriots played like 7 or 8 defensive backs for most of the game, but even before this game, besides your 54-yarder, which was a great play, it's been tough to really get those big chunk plays that we're used to seeing. What have you noticed in common, maybe that opposing defenses are doing a little bit more this year to eliminate some of those?
I don't know. I just feel like, we're like known as like probably like deep threats. We got me, we got Cole, we got Sammy, obviously, who can do it, and then you got Kelsey, who can even do it. So like teams are like more aware, of us, so it's not like we're not seeing as much man coverage, as we usually see. It's more, zone thoughts, trying to slow us down, so that could be a reason why, I mean, we still fast, we still can catch, we still got all of that, but, sometimes, some teams, they just, they just play, not to, give up the deep shot. So.
Let's go next to Steve Walls. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, what's up, Tyreek?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You talked about controlling the things that you can control, but the stress level is still there, right? You talk about the level of having to worry about if you will get the virus and possibly take it home, and also just trying to prepare for a game while worrying about all that stuff.
I'm not going to wood, so
yeah. Well,
get the virus, So, if I would get the virus, I mean, I would obviously, quarantine myself away from my kids and, the team, So, like I said, I'm gonna just control the things that I can control, and that's wearing a mask everywhere that I go, So I'm even doing like double masks today. So I got a mask and I got the mask and I got the Coach Reid visor going today, So I'm just trying to protect myself because, I know when I go home, I got to deal with my kids, so I don't want to spread that, to my kids or anything or my parents. So
let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
It's about 3 weeks, month ago, I saw you with at Liberty with the Lee Summit North team and coaching. I'm just curious your idea, like, what's it about, coaching, helping kids? What have you learned from them? What have they learned from you about coaching and everything that goes involved with just interacting with kids about the game of football?
Well, coaching has always been something that, I've always wanted to do ever since, I was a kid, because my dad, he kind of coached me, through Pop Warner, through high school, and he even, trained me, doing some of my NFL offseason, so just for him, to help me get to the path that I'm on right now, it's just so amazing, like the way he like impacted my life, the things he taught me, it's like some of the same things I want to be able to teach some of these young men that I'm coaching at Lee Summit North, so like I feel like, everyone has a purpose in life, so my dad's purpose was to coach, and to like impact the youth where I'm from. Well, I feel like my my purpose is kind of the same thing. I want to be able to mentor those guys and, like help lead those guys and like help get those guys to like the level that they want to get to, and that's Division I, Division II, and that's just next level football, you know. And also, you know, help mentor them to be better young men off the field, you know. So that's what it's all about, you know. Like, yes, we love playing football, but it's what you do, you know, outside of football is like who makes you who you are. So that's why I love coaching so much.
We've got time for one more, guys. We'll go last to Seren Petrov. Go ahead, Seren.
Tyreek, you know, when everyone talks about you around the NFL, they talk about how fast you are. So is your speed, maybe your ups, right? You get some credit for your verticality as well, but no one ever talks about your hands. No one talks about your ability to catch. Is that, I mean, you've made yourself into a complete all-around wide receiver. And I know you talked back, maybe it was after your first year, about talking to the guys at the Pro Bowl, talking to Antonio Brown, and really picking people's brains about, you know, how to go about being a good receiver. Does it ever frustrate you? I mean, you've always been fast. I assume you've always won every race you've run practically in your life. But does it frustrate you that maybe you don't get the credit for the work that you put into the nuances of the position?
You know, to my hands, I just got to give credit to Grip Boost because they're the only glove that can handle the cheetah, you know. So, but with that being said, you know, I used to get frustrated, you know, a lot, you know, when like you read reports about people saying, "Oh, he body catches," you know. But my dad always taught me, you know, a catch is a catch, no matter how you get it done. You know, you can catch, like, just like a win is a win. You know, you can win by 1 point or 100 points. You still won a game. It's like the same thing with a catch. If I catch an 8-yard hitch with my body and fall, and you catch an 8-yard hitch with your hands and fall, we still got the same amount of yard, you know. So, but granted, you know, if I catch it with my hands, I can do something, you know, much more, you know, with the ball faster because I got the ball in my hands faster, you know. But I feel like over the years, you know, I've gained enough confidence, you know, to like catch with my hands, you know, and that comes with time, you know. Just being around guys like Kelsey, Sammy, and D-Rob, just watching all of those guys just snag the ball out of the air, you know, I'm like, man, I can do that too. Like I got some small hands, but I can catch the ball. Like I can track the ball like better than like any of y'all. But just like snagging the ball out of the air, you know, those guys really helped me, you know, and even motivated me to like catch the ball with my hands. So I've had a few drops in that practice, but in the game though, it's like next level, all snags.
Reid, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys, thanks.
All right, guys, we got Rashad Fenton coming up next. All right, guys, we got Rashad stepping up next. Are you ready for us, Rashad?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. We'll start first with Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Rashad. So you made a bunch of big plays on Monday, interception included. Where do you feel like you've grown the most as a player between your rookie season and where you are now?
Just more so just understanding the defense itself, knowing where I got to be, knowing where other players got to be.
All right. Let's go to Karen Kornacki. Go ahead, Karen.
Ty. Hey, you guys have done great in all the safety protocols. Tyreek was just telling us how he's wearing double masks now. He's got visor and a mask and stuff. But how concerned are you when you see like a DB from another team, knowing you guys get face to face with these receivers or fighting on the ground for a fumble recovery? Is there some concern that you can't control what other teams do, and so there's always that threat out there? Does that bother you?
I mean, don't get me wrong. We're all humans at the end of the day. So, you know, viruses and other things that can attack our body, and my body is a concern at the end of the day. It is a health issue, but at the end of the day, you just got to trust what you signed up for and trust the protocols
align with the job and the regular health issues aligned to it. So, I mean, you just got to trust it and stay prayed up at this time and got to take care of it.
Go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Rashad, what was it like having, I know you guys haven't practiced yet, but having Rashad Breeland back in the building, and a number of those plays you made against New England, including the interception, do you feel like you necessarily would have made those plays last season?
You know what I mean? It's great having Rashad back. He brings a lot of the energy back. You know, he's another vet along with Honey Badger and Dan on the defensive course. So, you know, it's great because I'm a cornerback, so he brings the years into the DB room, and it's great to have him back. You know, he started picking the Super Bowl, man. The whole team loves to have him back. But last year, I would have been playing nickelback, so it's hard to say if I would have been able to make the same plays at corner. But who knows? I'm not sure if I would have been able to or if I wouldn't have.
Go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Rashad, with the suspension to Breeland and the injuries, you've gotten maybe a lot more opportunities than you might have been expecting the last few weeks. How important was it to you to take this playing time that you're getting and making the most of it and trying to show that, hey, you know what, you deserve more playing time, maybe you deserve being a starter?
You know, as a sixth-round guy, you know, you labeled as just a special team guy. You know, it's the game of the football. Next man up. It's a gift and a curse, of course, but I was blessed able to get more playing time, like you said, and it just feels good knowing that you can, when your number's called and you have a job to do, just feels good that you're able to get the job done at an exceptional level as the starters would, and this feels good.
Connect to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
What Rashad, just, you know, I know you talked a little bit about last year playing kind of a different slot, but just all around in your game, what do you know more now? Like what knowledge have you gained that's helped you, that's made you more comfortable and more confident that you didn't have as a rookie?
Like I said, just being able to understand the defense a little bit more. That was my biggest objective last year. This year, I know it, and I know more positions, and I know what other people are doing. You know what I mean? Also, last year I was so focused on knowing the defense, I could rarely, if slim to some, really get an understanding of the offense because I was too busy worrying about what I had to do as my job first. But this year I'm able, since I know the defense, to pick apart the offense a little bit more, just learn a little bit more tendencies, and kind of understand that a little bit more. That's just the most I was able to probably do from this year and last year.
Looks like we've got one more hand up. Let's go last to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
I guess I'll stay on theme. So you played a lot more inside last year, and through 4 weeks, you have a ton more outside experience this year. I was wondering if you could compare the two, the nickelback and the outside, and then what you're more comfortable at and why.
You know, at nickelback, you basically a linebacker and a defensive back. You know, at nickelback, you got to understand more offensive fronts, offensive run game. Don't get me wrong, you're a defensive guy. You have to worry about run and pass always, of course. But at the nickelback, you're kind of in the mix of the 7-man front, 7-man run game. So it's just that aspect of you really 50-50 at nickelback. At corner, like I said, you are a defensive player, so you have to worry about the run as well. But it's a difference when you're on that island and you kind of, you know what I mean, some yards apart from the nearest tackle or quarterback and fullback. So, you know, you lean towards the pass game a lot more when you at cornerback. You know what I mean? You kind of just read the tendencies of the receiver, and he'll give you run or pass, but kind of deal with that receiver more. To be honest with you, I'm a defensive back. Wherever coach want me to play, I could play safety, I could play nickelback, I could play corner. Wherever my number needs to be called, that I'm gonna be ready to go, and that's just what it comes down to.
Rashad, we appreciate the time today. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all.
All right, guys, that is it for today. Give me 1 second. I'll drop back on here. 1 second.